Hello everyone in YouTube land, internet land, wherever you're floating there in the atmosphere. This is just going to be a very short, 3 minutes plus video on some recent Salvation album finds for $1 each, and they're all in good playable condition. I don't buy any album that's not in playable condition. So there's about 10 of them here, and we're going to go very fast. I want to keep this video very short. Primarily jazz and classic vocals, where I'm going to show you. The first one is from band leader Jimmy, how do you pronounce that last name? Luncefort. There we go. Blues in the Night, 1938-42. And, of course, this is reissued on the MCA with liner notes and information as well. So that's good on the MCA label, if I can get it zero. Oh, there we are. Okay, so later reissue. Bobby Hackett, Satex. And you can see the players on there. Urbie Green I'm familiar with, and this is a Storyville reissued, and liner notes and information. That's cool. Bobby Hackett again, 1957, and this is on some kind of obscure label. You can see the players and the label, and I've sampled each of these after deep cleaning them. They all sound great. And this is another Bobby Hackett album, live at the Roosevelt Grill, and these are the players. If you're a jazz expert or not very knowledgeable of it, you could see who's played on there. And this was a recording that was done in April and May of 1970, and liner notes about that. And if you want more information on this album, just send me a message and I will let you know what's on this handwritten message here. But 1970, and the cool thing about this album, put it back there, is the artwork. Look at that. That's really cool. And when you put it on, you're in a club, because you can hear the audience, in the background, talking a little bit, but it does not interfere with the music. In fact, it feels kind of like part of the music. Al Hirt, Swing Dixie. This is pretty cool. This really jumps here. It's on the Audio Fidelity label, Volume 2. Benny Goodman. I mean, we all know him as Swing, but in his later years, he played classical music, and I sampled this a little bit, and this is really good. A very distinguished photo of Benny there. Let me pull it up a little closer with his clarinet. I've got a lot of Benny Goodman, in his swing era albums, about 15 of them. So that's kind of a nice one to add in collection. Glenn Miller, Bluebird 70s reissued. And this Bluebird was a label created in the late 30s, 40s, kind of a offshoot of RCA, and it was phased out, brought back in various time, more recently in the mid-70s, to do these double albums of big band leaders. And I've got a nice collection of them, and so this is the latest edition. gatefold with very informative liner notes, recording dates, who played on what, historical retrospective, mint condition. This guy here, Stan Kenton, I'm just getting familiar with his music, and very cool album cover. And I've heard good things about this album, this being one of his best. Bill Davison, don't know too much about him. I looked him up on Wikipedia, and he was a trumpet player. But what really attracted me to this album was the cool 1950s period album cover artwork. So I'm happy to have that. Joe Statford with Art Van Diemen Quartet, Once Over Lightly. Another very cool period album cover. That's one of the things why I like to collect, try to get albums like these, is the period artwork. And it is on Columbia 6 size and really good condition. So that's not a bad buy for $1. Okay, wrapping things up, because I said I want to keep this short. Bing Crosby. We had this record in the house growing up, and so I was happy to find it again. Sort of a sentimental attachment. Some really cool pictures. This is a really good album. He was still in great vocals voice back then. I think this was recorded in the later part of the 50s. Steve Lawrence, I was playing this morning. I really like Steve Lawrence. This is on the United Artists label. The very best of Steve Lawrence High Fidelity series. So that's cool. The last one is Trini Lopez, second Latina album. And I've got the first one. The first one is good, and so I was happy to get this one to put it with the first one. I haven't heard it yet, but I would imagine it's good too. Okay, we're on 8 minutes, way over. But anyway, some nice Salvation Army, $1 each, all playable condition albums. Please leave any comments if you wish. And thank you for watching, and have a good day.